past 11. Nice hour for a rector to come to breakfast.
Don't mock, Frankie, don't mock. Feeling a little,
Off color?
No, miss. Unwell this morning. Where's your mother?
Gone to town. At all events, if Crofts is going to stay here, and you are going to stay up with him every night until 4, it is clearly my mother's duty as a prudent housekeeper to go up to the stores and buy a barrel of whiskey and a few hundred siphons.
I have not observed Sir George drank excessively.
You were not in condition to, Governor.
Do you mean to say that Frankie,
Yes?
do you think the Warrens will expect the axe here after yesterday afternoon?
They've already been asked.
What?
Crofts informed us at breakfast that you told him to bring the Warrens here and invite them to make this house their home.
I never gave any such invitation. I never thought of such a thing.
How do you know what you said and thought last night, Governor? Good morning.
Good morning. I must apologize for not having met you at breakfast. I seem to have come down with a case of,
A clergyman's sore throat, Praed. Fortunately, not chronic.
Well, I must say you have a rather charming spot here. Really most charming.
Yes, it is indeed. I must ask you to excuse me. I must take the opportunity to write my sermon while Miss Gardner is off. You all seem to be enjoying yourselves. You don't mind, do you?
Certainly not.
Thank you.
Curious thing, you must be writing a sermon every week.
Ever so curious if he did. He buys them. He's gone for some soda water.
I wish you'd be more respectful to your father. I mean, he is your father after all.
Yes, and I give him due credit for that. But just imagine him telling Crofts to bring the Warrens over here. He must have been ever so drunk. You know, Praed, my mother wouldn't like Mrs. Warren at all. Vivie mustn't come here until she's gone back to town.
Does your mother not know that Mrs. Warren is here?
I don't know. Her journey to town says if she does.
Frankie, Miss Warren and Crofts are coming across the heath with her daughter. What am I to say?
Say how delighted you are to see them, and that Frankie's in the garden, and that you hope Mrs. Warren slept well, and say any blessed thing and leave the rest province. Now, off with you. Praed and I will give this whole thing an unpremeditated air. Look, she actually has her arm around the old woman's waist. It's her right arm. She began it. She's gone sentimental, by God. Ever so delighted to see you, Mrs. Warren. This quiet old rectory garden becomes you perfectly.
Well, I never. Did you hear that, George? She says I look quite well in an old rectory garden.
You look well everywhere, Miss Warren.
Bravo, Governor. Now, let's have a treat before lunch. First, let's see the church.
I shall be pleased, I'm sure, if Miss Warren and the Crofts really care about it.
Oh, come along and get it over.
I've no objection.
Look, run here.
Ain't you coming?
No. I want to give you a warning, Frankie. You were making fun of my mother just now when you said that about the rectory garden. Please, treat my mother with as much respect as you treat your own.
My dear Viv, what on earth has happened to you? Last night we were perfectly agreed as to your mother in person. And this morning I find you attitudinizing sentimentally with your arm around your parents' waist.
Attitudinizing?
That's how it struck me. First time I ever saw you do a second-rate thing.
Yes, Frankie. There's been a change. But I don't think it'll change for the worse. Yesterday I was a little prig.
And today?
Today, I know my mother better than you do.
Heaven forbid.
What do you mean?
Viv, there's a Freemasonry among thoroughly immoral people that you know nothing of. You've too much character. That's the bond between your mother and me, and that's why I'll know her better than you ever will.
You are wrong. You know nothing about my mother. If you knew the circumstances against which my mother had to struggle
That I should know why she is what she is, shouldn't I? Circumstances or no circumstances, Viv, you won't be able to stand your mother.
Why not?
Because she's an old wretch, Viv. If you ever put your arm around her waist in my presence again, I'll shoot myself there and then as a protest against an exhibition which revolts me.
Must I choose between dropping your acquaintance and dropping my mother's?
That would put the old lady at ever such a disadvantage. No, Viv, your infatuated little girl will have to stick to you in any case. But it's no use. Your mother's impossible.
Frankie? Is she to be deserted by the world because she's what you call a bad lot? Has she no right to live?
No fear of that, Viv. She won't be deserted.
But I am to desert her, I suppose.
Mustn't go live with her. Little family group of mother and daughter wouldn't be a success. Spoil our little group.
What little group?
The babes in the woods. Frankie and little Vivie. Let's go and get covered up with leaves.
The wise little girl with her silly little girl.
The sweet little Frankie and daddy little Vivie.
Little girl wants to forget all about her mother. Come, let's go.
Oh, damn.
Why, damn dear.
Here's this brute Crofts.
Could I have a few words with you, Miss Vivie?
Certainly.
Now, if you excuse me, Gardner, the waiting for this church, if you don't mind.
Anything to oblige you, Crofts, except church. If you should happen to want me Vivens, ring the gate bell.
Plus a young fellow that. The pity she has the money, isn't it?
Do you think so?
What's she to do? No profession, no property. What's she good for?
I realized her disadvantages, Sir George.
Well, that's not what I came to say. Now, listen, Miss Vivie. I'm quite aware that I'm not a young lady's man. And to tell you the honest truth, I don't want to be either. But when I say a thing, I mean it. And when I feel a sentiment, I feel it in earnest. And what I value, I pay hard money for. That's the sort of man I am.
Does you great credit, I'm sure.
Oh, I don't mean it to praise myself. I know I'm not perfect, heaven knows. No man is more sensible at that than I am. That's one of the advantages of being a middle-aged man. Well, now it has to more practical matters. You may have an idea that I've flung my money about, but I haven't. I've used my knowledge of the world to invest my money in ways that other men have overlooked. How does a man and money come to you?
It's very kind of you to tell me this.
Oh, well, come, Miss Vivie. You need to pretend you don't see what I'm driving at. I want to settle down with the lady Crofts.
But I quite appreciate the offer, the money, the position, Lady Crofts, and so on. But I think I will say no if you don't mind. I'd rather not.
Oh, I'm in no hurry. It was only just to let you know in case young Gardners are trying to trap you. Leave the question open.
My no is final.
Well, I'm a good deal older than you. 25 years, a quarter of a century. I shan't live forever. And I hope that that you'll be well off I'm gone.
Don't you think you'd better take your answer? There's not the slightest chance of my altering it.
Well, no matter. I can tell you some things that could change your mind fast enough. But I won't, because I'd rather win you by honest affection. I will only say that your mother would never have money that paid for your education if it had been for my advice and help, not to mention the money I'd advanced her. There are not many men who stood by her side as I have. I put not less than 40,000 pounds into it from first to last.
Do you mean to say that you were my mother's business partner?
Yes, now think of all the trouble and explanations it would take if we were to keep this all in the family, so to speak.
I see no difficulty since I understand that the business is wound up and the money invested.
It wound up? Why not the business is paying 35% in the worst years? Not likely. Who told you?
Do you mean that it is still? What business are you talking about?
Well, it's something that I would really say would be a high-class business in my set. Not that there's any mystery about it. I don't know whether you find in traveling how hard it is to find a really comfortable private hotel.
Yes, go on.
Well, that's all about it. Your mother has got a genius for managing such things. We've got 5 private hotels altogether.
And this is the business you invite me to join you in?
Oh no, my wife shan't be troubled with the business. You're not being it more than you've always been.
I always been? What do you mean?
Only to say that you've always lived on it. It paid for your education and the dress you have on your back. Don't try to read nose at business, Vivie.
Take care. I know what this business is.
Well, who told you?
Your partner. My mother. You just saw!
She ought to have more consideration for you. I never have told you.
You probably would have told me when we were married. It would have been a convenient weapon to break me in with.
On my word as a gentleman, I didn't.
Doesn't matter. I suppose you understand that when we leave here today, our acquaintance ceases.
Why?
My mother was a very poor woman who had no reasonable choice but to do as she did. You were a rich gentleman. You were a pretty, common sort of scoundrel. That is my opinion of you.
Why the devil should I invest my money in that way? I hope you don't think I'm dirty my own hands with the work.
You might go on to point out that I, myself, never asked where the money I spent came from. I believe I am just as bad as you.
Well, of course you are. And a very good thing, too. So you don't think of me such a scoundrel now you've come to think it over, eh?
I have shared profits with you, and I admitted you just now to the familiarity of knowing what I think of you.
To be sure you did. You won't find me a bad sort. I have plenty of honest human feeling. Believe me, Miss Vivie, the world is such a bad place as the croakers make out. So long as you don't fly openly in the face of society, society doesn't ask any inconvenient questions. There are no secrets better kept than secrets everybody guesses.
I suppose you think you're getting on famously with me.
Well, I hope I may flatter myself to think that you think of me better than you did at first.
I hardly find you worth thinking about at all now. When I think of the society that tolerates you and the laws that protect you, damn you, you need not. I feel among the damned already.
You think I'm flirting with this with you young devil?
Be quiet!
Will you have me take care of him, Viv?
Frankie, have you been listening?
Only so that you shouldn't have to wait.
For 2 pence, I bring you 2 free.
Pray, don't. I may accidentally hurt you. Sure to be a fatal accident, with a reprimand from the coroner's jury for my negligence.
Stop, this is quite unnecessary.
Quite right, Viv. Much more sportsmanlike to catch him in a trap. Crofts, I have with me a pistol and I'm a dead shot.
Don't you need to be afraid. I'm not going to touch you.
Ever so magnanimous of you given the circumstances. Thank you.
Well, I'll just tell you this before I go. It may interest you since you're so fond of one another. Allow me, Miss Frankie, to introduce you to your half-sister, the eldest daughter of Reverend Samuel Gardner. Miss Vivie, your half-sister. Good morrow.
Take it ever so easy, dear Viv. He lies. Come and be covered up with you.
No, not that. You make all of my flesh creep.
Why? What's the matter?